How's it going, everyone? I know. We're mixing it up tonight. Hambone is still asleep, so I figured I'd fill in for him tonight. And we're just gonna postpone his until tomorrow. He did a lot. Like he actually let me sleep today. I was sleeping on the couch, just taking naps, and he was buzzing around the house and mowing the grass and everything. So he he needs to sleep. Hey, Tampa Kurt, how are you? My very
Hey,
random
uh,
family person.
yeah. How's it going, spouse daughter?
I'm
I
so.
figured out how it works, though.
Oh,
Uh, It's like whoever's status you like last, that's who's going to be in your family tree.
no, because I haven't.
I don't know. That's what happened to me. I'm sorry, but what happened to you, though?
I don't know. I don't know how that all worked. I really don't. I. It was just so funny. I was like, okay, maybe Tampa Kurt has some different people. No, it was literally one different person.
Yeah, a lady left my family. Like, I'm kind of broken up about that.
Oh my gosh. It
And
was.
all she said is she's very busy, and like, okay, mom, thank
I,
you.
I have been laughing so hard since all of that. Like everyone else has like different people or whatever in theirs, and like of course ours has to be some kind of weird incestuous thing. That's why I was like, it would take decades of therapy to figure this shit out. I'm sorry.
I married my son. My father became my son, and my spouse became my daughter. So yeah, that's like some 48 hour Dateline, Oprah Winfrey HBO interview shit right there. So I it didn't happen. It was just a dream. I don't know what anyone's talking about. No, it was funny though.
It was good. It was good. I've been laughing for a couple hours since then because I was just like, this is for like I laughed at ours. Like I was like, okay, that's kind of comical, whatever. And then like you guys went to town on the thread, and I was just laughing even harder. And then it was just icing on the cake. So I mean, and I see people that are like, oh yeah, this thing actually is like has malware, which I did it from my phone. Like I have an iPhone, so I'm not too worried. I think I don't know. Um, but I don't know, whatever. It's just fun at this point. So yeah, it's been really kind of fun to see other people's too. Like Ghost. I don't know if you saw the I tagged you in that thread, but Ghost Note had one where like they're his the main person was themselves plus their own grandparent or something. I can't. It was a mess.
I think Ghost's father was his spouse.
Yeah, something like that. It was crazy. Hey Andrew, what's going on?
It was a clone.
It was I don't even know. I'm sketched out with a lot of these now. I'm like, can we get a take on who created this? Just kidding, guys. But no, it's been a fun day. Has everyone had been having a good weekend?
Yeah, I have absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh, what about everyone else?
I don't know. Everyone's like, quiet and just, I figured, Saturday night we'd have a pumped up thing and, whatever. We're open mic tonight. I'm not talking anything serious, so, um, nothing down today. Like it's just, it's the weekend. It's whatever, and that's what plus, I didn't really have time to prepare anything. I know Hambone was going to talk about the containers outside of LA. If you guys want to talk about that, I mean, I don't have much information. He has all the information on it, but if anybody has any information on it, we can. Or if we have any music people, if you guys want to jam out today, we can do that. I don't care. I'm pretty chill with the podcast today. Um, I really don't know. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's just it's been just such a good day. Like I got in the pool. Uh, got a nice little workout in today, and relaxed. Like today is probably the first day I've actually relaxed in months. Yeah, I'm gonna stand by
For
that.
months.
In months, today was the first day I've actually like just took the day. I went, like I said, I got in the pool, I cleaned it out and everything, and did my water workout that I need to do. Um, Hung out in the pool while Em was still asleep actually, and then came in and hung out with the family, and then I took a nap. So it's kind of a glorious day actually. So, hey Dee, how are you tonight? Yeah, I would say in months this is the first relaxing day I've had. Kind of odd. It's probably why my brain doesn't work right now.
So you actually do physical therapy in the pool, huh? By yourself?
Yeah, I with all my back stuff and everything, I found quite a few different like YouTube videos and Googled around different like water aerobic exercises to do to kind of alleviate my any of the back pain because like I'm literally riding on like Tylenol and ibuprofen right now, um, and so I just try to do what I can. I do like yoga, and I actually today I was very proud of myself. I did um, about 30 minutes of just like different like kicking, like holding on to like the ladder or whatever. Because it's like one of those above ground like blow up ring pools. I don't know, 15 feet wide, whatever. Um, and so I just hold on to the ladder and I'll do like my flutter kicks and different, whatever. And then I have this thing that I've developed where it's you push down like it's one of the big fat noodles, and you push it down and basically like try to do like a plank on the noodle, and then like you can use that as like stabilization work, and that helps with your back. And then I was actually able to do like 30 push-ups pretty decently, and you guys are probably laughing like, oh yeah, okay, push-ups in the pool, but no, like, so I use the ladder and I'll get my actual whole self, like my feet are propped up on a noodle, and I'll get my whole body out of the water and then go back out into the water, and then just at 33 reps of 10 of that. So and a few other things, but yeah. It's pretty good. I like it. Hey Gio, hey JH, what's going on? Yeah, so it was pretty good. That's what I like.
Those are some great core exercises. So yeah, you're doing good.
100%. Well, so a little bit of backstory on me. So while Hambone was in basic, I actually had really gotten into like going and working out. Like I was never really like I was a dancer for 15 years, so I had asked my doctors if I could get off restriction and everything, and start going and working out because I'd gained a substantial amount of weight, being on bed rest and everything, and not like having all these restrictions or whatever. And so while he was at basic, I was bound and determined not to be a stereotype. Because we had a few military people around us, and their wives had been like, "Don't be a stereotype. Don't do it." And I said, "Okay." And so I got went to NSA and got started working out there, and had developed my own HIIT program and nutritional thing and everything. And so it's like I was doing carb loading like none other. If anybody knows what HIIT training is, high intensity interval training. And so it was 5 days a week. When I say I kicked my own ass, I kicked my own ass. Like I was going 2-3 hours a day. I'd wake up, and it was so funny too, because I did have a little like supplement in the sense of like, it was like, oh, what was it? Got it at GNC. But it had like a high amount of caffeine in it because I don't drink coffee, like, and at this point I had given up pop 100%. I was just drinking like protein shakes and water, juice, tea and whatnot, milk obviously with my protein shakes. But I had developed this entire thing where it's like Monday was arms, Tuesdays was legs, Wednesday was arms, Thursday was legs, Friday was full body, kick yourself, like you're going as hard as you can on Friday so that Saturday and Sunday you don't feel guilty for just like dying for 2 days, and then you start all over. Like, 'cause he was gone for 9 months, guys. He was gone for 9 months, so I knew I could go. I I hate to admit this on any kind of thing, but started at like 210. I'm 5'7", so I'm a tall person, but I started at 210 after 2 years of recovery from different abdominal surgeries and things like that. So I hated it, absolutely hated it. And so I love salads, I love pasta. And I was doing like major carb and protein intake, and I didn't cut out sweets. I still made cookies and I still ate them. I still ate junk. Like I knew in my head, after, having to do studies on nutrition and how to develop everything. And I couldn't cut that out because I love cookies. It's my guilty pleasure. Oreos, I can pound an entire thing of Oreos in like 2 days. It's disgusting. But yeah, right. Hey, you gotta think of Oreos and cold milk. That is the best, right? And so, I would start out, and it would be like 1 minute walk, 1 minute run on the treadmill for 20 minutes, and then when I started doing it, oh God, it was the worst thing ever. That was literally the worst thing, and I remember like quitting. I was like, I'm going to get this run done. I'm going to go do some weights and I'm done. Like, I can't do this. It was hard. It was very hard. But eventually the whole routine ended up being, 20 minute. That was my warm up of 1 minute walk, 1 minute run, trying to get the heartbeat up and, really getting into that, calorie burning heart rate and whatnot. And so then going and doing my weights, or any kind of body weight exercises or anything that I could think of. So core and arms, always with the core, whether it was back or abdomen or hip, anything of my core was every day, because I felt like that's what I needed to do, because it had been so weak. And so, and I advise that anyway, if you're ever doing this, like your core is your structure. And so if you have a poor, weak core, your arms and your legs, whatever you do is not going to be very good. And so, I got into squats, which was the squats thing was funny. Okay. You have to imagine this little me on a military base and going, okay, my husband's not here. I know the stereotype, and I had just been schooled on what the hell a Jody is. If you guys don't know what a Jody is, go look it up, because I'm not getting into it. I had to learn all this stuff very, very quickly. And so I'm looking around for like, what's funny enough, some of the oldest guys in there, I didn't want anybody close to my age because that could have been bad. And so I'm looking at these old guys. I was like, hey, can you help teach me how to do these squats? Proper form and everything, because if you don't know, you ask. And they kind of laughed at me, but they were like, okay. And so I got to know them, and they become pretty close friends. And hey, Sparky, what's going on? And so I don't know, it became a very good thing. And so then I'd go and do the elliptical or a bike or the row machine for another 10 minutes, again, alternating. It was 5 minutes, kind of a moderate pace, another 5 minutes at like as fast and as hard as you could go, and then another 5 minutes to kind of bring your heart rate down so you won't like pass out as soon as you get up, and then go back to doing the weights and then go cool down and everything. That was my workout. So to have that, right, like I did that for every week for 9 months. I was going and working out like that. And then we got out to Hawaii, and we were hiking trails, and I'd go to the gyms on base and everything. And I mean, it was so funny. We landed in Hawaii, and like the second day we were there, I looked at, Hambone was like, I do not want to go do PT. Like, he was done. He was on vacation for a few weeks. And so he was like, I'm not getting my ass out of bed. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to go to the gym. Sun's not even up yet, guys. Like, I'm so jet lagged. I don't even know what day it is or what time it is. And I go into the gyms, and, I was like one of very few, because the PT guys hadn't gotten there. Like, all the people for PT hadn't gotten to the gym yet. And I was just, working out. And so here I am again on restriction, and it is slightly killing me. But yeah, and so, if anybody ever wanted that workout, I'm more than happy to give it to them. I've had it run past, quite a few different people, and it's very interesting to see, how people perceive it. And they're like, wait, you developed this? And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty close to what I do. And so I think I got down in 9 months between eating like salad and turkey sandwiches and, keeping a regular, pretty decent diet, protein shakes. I always recommend a protein shake. after a good workout like that, because if you don't, I tell you what, and you have to put a banana in it too, like the chocolate protein shake with a banana. If you don't do that, I'm sorry, you are going to hurt. I remember missing the protein shake one day. I was like, I don't need it. I don't need it today. I cried the next day because I was like, I don't feel good. Whatever. But I went from the 210 down to 145 in 9 months. And it was so, I think it was the funniest thing. Hambone and I had been together 7 years at that point. Like, we'd been together for 7 years. And, he'd seen me, be my tiny little self when we started dating and, all these surgeries and stuff. And the first time he got to see me, I think I'd already dropped like 30 pounds or so. And he was like, where did my wife go? Holy crap. And so when I got to pick him up from AIT and everything to bring him home, he was like, where the hell have you gone? And hi pot meat kettle, he had shrank like 70-80 pounds too, so whatever. So it was a good thing. But that's where it's like, I have to develop my own workouts and kind of figure out what's right for myself, and that's the long-winded version of that, the long-winded story. Sorry guys. It's something I'm really proud of. I'm really proud of how I did all that. Hey AU, what's going on?
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you, but you said pop.
I'm from the Midwest.
Yeah, I'm from Michigan, and when you go to Michigan, you see on the signs pop. So
Hip hop.
I
Yeah.
picked up on that.
Yeah, born in Michigan, raised in Indy. I say pop. It's not all Coke, and I can't do soda. Soda is just, it's weird. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I kind of melded too. I would go soda pop.
When I'm being facetious, I'll say soda pop. When someone from the West Coast, like my sister, is like soda, it's soda. I'm like it soda pop. But if I want a Coke, I say a Coke. I'm gonna have a Coke. I don't know.
Yeah, I used to work at Burger King. People show up. Yeah, I'll take a Coke. Pepsi be fine. Yeah, that's it. We had to clarify. We couldn't sell one that was the other.
Oh yeah, right. That's drives me nuts. But see, I don't really like Pepsi products. Like I'll drink a Mountain Dew every few moons, but um, truck nerd went from playing college football and powerlifting to having kids and working graveyard shift. Went from 20 BMI to almost 40. I understand that. I understand the gain in BMI. Like, and so that's the other thing. Like, so after all my research that I found with nutrition and working out and things, because like I said, I'm 5'7". I'm tall. Like, I didn't actually realize how tall I was for a girl until I started researching, and there was like the average height for a girl is 5'4", and I'm going, dear God, I haven't been 5'4" since third grade. Like, no, that's not a thing. And so doing waist measurements, like hip to waist ratio measurements, and finding out your bone structure, like your frame size, like that's actually a thing. I didn't realize that was a thing until I started learning about all this. So yeah, BMI pisses me off actually almost on a daily basis now, because if you don't fit inside this perfect little bubble with size and everything, it doesn't work. It's really weird. Just a heads up. I've had a lot of girls like weight. I don't look at my weight as much because it did become an obsession. It did become an obsession with how, like, looking at the scale and making sure I'm fitting into this certain like bubble or whatever of precise weight. And so when I discovered this whole different way of thinking of doing measurements, doing tape measurements instead of just focusing on what the scale says or what the BMI says or anything like that, focusing on what actual like sizes are, because I'll tell you, I'll tell you this, guys. At the 145 weight, I was down to a size 6. If I would have lost any more at being 5'7", I would have looked sick, right? And it was like I looked at, it was like, oh, for your height, you could be 135. I'm going, I'm like, sorry, excuse me. If I lost 10 more pounds, I would look anorexic, and that's not good. Um, like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't know how they come up with these, like, oh, you should be this weight for your height. I'm going, I think you're wrong on this. This is disgusting looking. Like, I'm comfortable. I did figure out I'm comfortable at, like, the 155, and that's my own body, right? And that's with different weight, or sorry, tape measurements and things like that. So that's something I want everybody kind of look into is, if you are looking into that, because I've seen a few people posting about wanting to lose weight or getting into working out or anything, get a tape measure. You'll thank yourself. Keep note. Keep a log. Write it down like once a week. Take your measurements, and it'll be the coolest thing you ever see. Because it was so much fun. Like right now, I'm doing it for. It's really weird. Like my thigh measurements, because it's I'm working more on my legs in the pool, and I haven't gotten to do aerobic type workouts, and so doing like treadmills and ellipticals and things, like your thighs actually bulk up, and with swimming they thin down. They're actually a leaner muscle, and so I'm actually watching my legs shrink. I'm going, oh, this is interesting. So that's something, keep a journal, keep a journal of what you're eating too, if you need to do that. I'm just writing down ideas at this point, what I've ever done. I guess that's what we're talking about, is nutrition tonight, guys, because I love it. It's one of my favorite topics, because you actually can control how you feel in your body by what you eat. Eating omega-3s type foods, so seafood, it'll actually lubricate your joints. I ate a lot of seafood now. I've learned how to make some bomb crab cakes. They're probably my favorite thing to ever make now. Eating different fruits, guava and let's see, coconut. Coconut's a good one. Avocados. I hate avocados, but I'll eat it in sushi. So, there's my omega-3s and my good fats. So, it's interesting. It's definitely an interesting thing to do. Does anybody have anything to add? Hey, Dee. Hey, Sven. Go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, you actually made some good points there about the body mass index, the BMI. Like, these are very outdated charts, in my opinion. They've been around since, I don't know, maybe the mid to late 80s, early 90s, and they really haven't updated them. And they don't take account like your height and your weight and like what your body looks like, and like they don't measure your fat with the clips. Uh, it's it's just not reliable. Like the first thing I learned in personal training school was to throw away your damn scale and look in the mirror and just do your measurements. And like you said, write down every single thing you eat. Write down whatever you did, every workout, how many sets you did at what weights, and then as you go on, like, it may seem tedious at the time, but as you go on and you see yourself just improve, it's just, I don't know, it's a better high than any drug I ever took in my 20s. uh, and it's also amazing when people uh, like actually put their trust in me to train them, and that's a big responsibility. Like, I know they're feeling bad, and they're going through some things, and they it's like I'm their therapist and their trainer, and uh, it's just such an amazing thing to me when I'm just trying to help somebody and they have no clue what they're doing, and I'm just like, just wait till they get it, that light bulb's going to go off in their head, and they're going to start being positive, and they're going to stop being rude to themselves, and it always happens. And like after a while, they don't even need me anymore. Like, they'll be talking to other people in the gym, like, hey, your form's a little off, you should do this, why don't you do some high intensity interval training. uh, and these were my clients that had no clue what to do before, and like, I don't know, it just makes me more confident, and it just feels good to help other people to me.
Heck yeah. I
But
mean, that is so good. I actually forgot that you were a personal trainer.
yeah, I became one in 2005. I was 25. I'm actually 41 now. I don't look it. I would say that, but yeah, it, it's a it was a pretty weird experience for me. like I was on top of the world working at gyms. I don't know if anyone remembers when that comedian Carrot Top got really buff, but yeah, I was his trainer at LA Fitness in
Were you
Orlando.
really? That is so cool.
Yeah, his name's Scott. He's a cool dude. Uh, me and my friend, his name is Mental, because he's fucking mental. But yeah, but I'm the one that got paid for it because I actually worked there. But yeah, he was hilarious and just he was just a regular guy. Uh, but my point is, I got away from all that and started hanging out with the wrong people again. Uh, just through all the music that I do and everything, like going to the clubs and performing. Like you run into some bad crowds every once in a while, and a lot of people want to be your friend just because you're up there and you sound good. And, like just it I just craved the attention back then. Like I was looking for validation, not looking for happiness inside myself. I was looking outside for happiness, and but it turned into misery. Like I went from 225. I was weighing about 225 with about 8% body fat, and then I blew up to 360 pounds, and just laying in bed. And it's kind of dark. Like I was so depressed at the point. Like if if I didn't, if I woke up the next morning, I would just take a bunch of Tylenol PMs so I didn't have to live through that day. Uh, and then I was like, after about 6 months of that and gaining a whole crap load of weight and drinking a lot and taking a lot of drugs, I was just like, man, what are you doing? Just look where you were before. Like your dad was a bodybuilder in the Air Force. Like you're disgracing your family name. So I just made a choice one day. I said, this is going to stop now. And I started going back to the gym. And I ended up getting more training jobs. And yeah, I lost, I went from 360 to 225 in less than a year, I think. And I've gained about 60 pounds of muscle the last 2 years, and it's all natural too. Like I've never touched a steroid in my life.
That's fantastic. Like I couldn't imagine you at 360. Good lord. That's so odd to
Oh,
think about.
I do have pictures.
That is crazy.
I
I'm really proud of you. That's awesome.
I have my before and after pictures for sure.
I will say, I'm sure you'll agree with this. I trust me, and I have my before and afters. We'll have to. These will never go on Twitter, not for a very, very, very long time, because it's a self-conscious thing, like, right? Like, I, it's where I struggle personally. Like, I know that I was cut 14 different ways to Sunday. Like, I had 14 incision sites at that point, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, when you're put on restriction, you have that much crap going. Like, there's not much you can do. But it's still the fact, again, being a dancer for 15 years, dancers are notoriously skinny. And I suffered from a lot of body issues. And I'm sure Kurt can attest to this, that it is the best drug. Whenever you get 21 days, it takes 21 days to build a habit, right? To form a habit. So about that 25th day, it is just like you crave going to go work out. You crave it, and you're just like, I need to go. I don't feel like myself. This is something that I need to go do. And I mean, it's just like, I'm pretty sure I lost some of my hearing because I would crank my headphones as loud as I could. And I had those certain songs that were my running songs, and just, my songs that were just for weightlifting and things. And I, to this day, a just as if it was back then, this was years ago. My heart still goes. Like, when I hear my running songs, I'm just like, okay, I gotta go run. I'm not running right now. My body will not do that right now. But I can still, like, it still, like, just gets my blood going. And it's just like, oh, I need to go back. And so that's where I'm trying to build up. I'm trying to rebuild strength in the pool so I can get back into the gym and start going. I miss it 100%. It is literally my biggest stress reliever. It is, I don't know, like, does everybody here go to the gym? The people on YouTube, and on Twitter Space. Yeah, I got one. I know Kurt, obviously. Only 2 of you.
Getting back into it next week, actually.
Heck yes, that's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear you. I mean, it is such a high. Like that's the best way I can do. I know there's probably people that are gonna be listening to this and being like, Kenna, you're fucking insane. I hate working out. It is the trashiest thing ever. Like it is the epitome of all evil. I understand. I do.
Well, if you know about if you went to the base gym, you know about this, and this is what killed me is that the people go there and they cough and hack and oh, I got to work it out. Dude, get out of here. You
Yeah.
go
Well,
seriously, go home now.
I actually never ran into that, which is weird. Like I
Uh,
sadly
you're lucky.
oh yeah, I do. No, NSA was a very small gym, and whenever we went to Hawaii, I actually didn't like the gym because it was so big, and I don't know. I felt like a little kid again because I was just like, I don't know anybody in here. I don't have any of my old friends. Like, and when I say old friends, like not only like friends that I'd made for a long period of time working out, like it was like they were probably 30 years older than me, and they were kicking ass. So I was like, well, if you can do it, I can do it. So let's go. um,
Well, I'll tell you, at 44, I was beating some 19 and 20-year-olds on the track. So, but yeah, if you're at the NSA site in Hawaii,
no. We were at Wheeler Schofield.
okay, all right. Yeah, like I said, my thing with the gyms, like I stopped going once this pandemic thing hit because, like I said, knowing that the people are going in there hacking, coughing, and then all of a sudden all this stuff started coming out. It's like, yeah, I can't, uh, I can't be around that. But I'll find my time and I'll get back in there.
Yeah, no, it's well, and the gyms up in Wheeler Schofield. I don't know about like Pearl or anything like that, but there was no air conditioning. It was there was no air conditioning, and if they had air conditioning, they definitely did not have it on. It was muggy and humid, and oh Lord, it was terrible. I mean, NSA and Panama City, like it was the gym was warm, but they at least had big fans going all the time, so it kind of kept the air circuit. No, not at all. Let's see. My issue is when I worked out religiously, I ate a lot to gain a lot of muscle. Now that I don't work out as much, I kept the habit of eating. Hey, that it happens. It happens. It does. It's unfortunate that our bodies don't remember that. Oh, hey, we don't need this, but no, I get it. Used to, I do know that feeling of got to get up and go to the gym no matter what for how long. Exactly, working out is my drug of choice. It is kindergarten 100%. I couldn't agree more with that. I really couldn't because it's like I can't use cannabis. We figured this out. I don't drink. You guys, I have like one drink a year. I how I tell everyone how my brain works. It's like a bunch of ping pong balls, right? And on a daily basis, the ping pong balls are just constantly just ricocheting off of each other and bouncing off each other. And it is amazing that I can keep a straight thought most days, but going and working out, it kind of just gets that high energy out, and it kind of just slows the ping pong balls down so that you can actually create an actual solid focused thought, and kind of brainstorm off of it. But that's probably why I get very like into a lot of things that I am now, because it's like I need that focus. That focus is gone, and they tried giving me Xanax to kind of chill me out, and I can't do it. I can't do anything that chemically messes with my brain. First, I don't know why. I'm not complaining. I am not complaining one bit, but chemically, I cannot do anything that messes with my brain. Naturally, working out, meditating, anything like that, calming myself down that way, 100%. But after this whole mess with like them prescribing all these really different medications recently, I'm really freaked out. Like I'm still having panic attacks. Like I take my Tylenol and ibuprofen, something I've taken for years, and I actually have panic attacks over it because I'm just like, oh my God, this isn't natural. Like I don't know. And so it's very odd. And I remember, and now that I'm going through this, right, I am now remembering why all those years ago, I was like, fuck any of this chemical man-made bullshit, because it's very toxic, and I don't know why it's affecting me in such a way, but I remember this being why I looked into holistic, why I got into natural medicine and natural ways of healing myself. And I can't go to it. I can't, I have an appointment with my spine doctor on Tuesday, and I know she's going to be like, so how's everything been going? I'm going to be like, well, I'm in a lot of pain, but I'm good. I'm back to my normal self. I'm talking a lot faster again. Like my vocal cords are shot. Like I'm sure you guys, I don't know if you guys have been able to hear a difference. I can feel a difference when I talk, but there's so much going on, and I will take every pain that I have, every little weird sensation, every, painful thing it is with my voice, over whatever bullshit they're trying to give me. And I think that's where it's like, I need to figure out what's going on with Western medicine, because I actually, funny enough, I don't know how many of you guys saw me tweet out today. There was a interesting podcast, Twitter space thing, that was a bunch of doctors talking this morning about COVID. It was actually very interesting and weird at the same time, because one doctor said something about like a thing that's not to be mentioned apparently ever, and the Twitter space was shut down instantly. Like, it was really odd, and Citadel Air was in there with me during that, and we were both like, what the hell just happened? And so, but it was really the fact that there are so many medical professionals actually questioning what's going on, and not just in the realm of COVID, but just how treatment plans and the CDC and everything is going on. It's very interesting to hear. I'm still, again, I'm very neutral. I hear and see both sides. I have not come to a conclusion yet, but good Lord. I find it very interesting that they actually were willing to do it. And I think next Saturday at 11 Eastern, they're actually going to be hosting another one. So yeah, if you guys want to check it out, I'll probably be in there again, because it was just very interesting. And I'm actually in touch with a lot of them, because I told them what we were trying to do here with Bullhouse and following the trail of the money. And they, like, almost all of them were like, oh my God, we didn't even think about that. To follow the financial trail of it all, they didn't even think about that. They're looking at the science, which obviously they're doctors and nurses, they're medical personnel. So they wouldn't think to follow the financial aspect of it. But so that it's going to be interesting, because they said that they send me whatever they have and what they can find. And I would also share the information with them. So very interesting.
It does sound interesting. I think I'll listen in next time, because I do have some questions about it. Because about this time last year, I got COVID, and I had a fever, I had a headache. I felt pretty crappy for like maybe a day, and I just think I'm in good enough shape. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it just went away after like a few days, and I was tested positive and everything. And I really feel bad for everyone that doesn't have that experience. But yeah, I was just lucky, I guess, or I've just been training for so long. I was able to fight it off, and I'm wondering if I haven't been tested for antibodies yet, and I don't know. That's very interesting to me. I would like to do that and see if I even need this vaccine.
Well, and so that's actually, so they were going over, this was fascinating. Type O blood. And again, guys, this is not to be divisive or anything. They were pulling up research studies and things like that, journals. So what I am saying is been studied, talked about by medical personnel, but that type O blood is not having as many adverse reactions as type A and type AB blood. That's what they were really interested about, and that's what they're kind of one of the things that one of them's looking into is why the different blood types, because it's kind of the same thing with when you actually get COVID. If you have type A or type B, they're seeing different adverse reactions versus people with type O blood, and that's very interesting given the different antibodies and makeup of blood types and things. So I don't know. I'm fascinated to hear about this. Like I hope they figure that out in the next week or so, because that'll keep me on my toes. So that was one thing. And then someone else, another doctor, was talking about the comorbidities of it. Um, and it was actually kind of a thought that I'd had. And I don't know how to say this. I'm just going to say it. Okay, so we all know like the body positive movement, right? Like love your body no matter what you look like, blah, blah, blah. That whole thing, right? That led to a very high increase in morbidly obese population, because people no longer cared what they looked like. They just kind of, surprisingly, this actually feeds in, maybe this was on my subconscious today, but they just kind of, for lack of a better term, they just let themselves go. We have fast food everywhere. Our foods that we eat are just they're GMO. They're not good. Even when you think you're eating something good, it's sometimes not good. I eat like salad from McDonald's. Not good. Sorry to break it to you. But it's very, very interesting, because that whole movement was the last 6 years or so. And they found, that obesity, being morbidly obese, was a major factor in people who had major complications with COVID. So, they were like, and they had been warned, they're like, this might get a little tinfoily, but doesn't that seem a little odd? And I'm like, yeah, that does, actually. Like, I had that thought, months ago, but it was very interesting to hear someone else say it. So maybe if you guys want to talk about that, like what you might think on it, but I've found it very interesting, if you want to put your tinfoil hat on. If not, we can move on.
Yeah. Sure, but I think my tinfoil hat makes a little bit of sense. Not that you don't, but I'm just saying. Like one thing I really noticed is most of the states that were locked down, because obviously we weren't locked down for too long. Like they they had everything closed except for like regular stores like groceries, but every fast food was open, but they shut down the gyms. And like one of the biggest things about uh, preventing COVID and actually surviving it is to actually get in shape and do some cardio. And like I don't want to be a preacher about health or nothing like that, but it's just true. The better shape you're in, the more chance you have to survive. And they shut down the gyms, and I just could not understand that. And that's my 2 cents there.
Yeah, it was very odd. Like churches and gyms but bars and fast food were open. Like there's something, there's a missing piece here. There is a missing piece, that I just can't grasp yet. But I think next Saturday will be interesting to hear from them again. And if I do hear anything interesting that they'll let me pass on, I definitely want to be able to do that. So it's anything that I'm finding with like that trail, it has been fascinating. Message, oh, Message D, if you do want an interesting documentary, or myself, we've been watching this documentary. I did show it to my parents today. That concerns COVID, coming out of Australia, but I do think I'm gonna have to cut this podcast a little short. My daughter is awake and crying, so tomorrow Hambone will be on. He will go over the container ships and things that are docked in LA, and probably I think we actually have some here in Tampa Bay that are kind of chilling, that aren't being offloaded. And I know some are down in Miami too. So I'm curious to see what he has found about that, because this could be very detrimental to the inflationary problems we have in the economy. So it'll be good. Any final thoughts, guys? Anything at all about what we've talked about?
No, I think we're good.
All right.
Good evening.
Thanks, guys. It's been fun. It was a good chill Saturday. I'm sorry it wasn't too informative at all, but I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night.